So the first question we're going to think about, Sarah, to start us off, one of the ones that I often hear parents saying is that local authorities have told them, particularly when they return draft EHCP checks to the local authorities say to them, oh, no, we don't specify and quantify provision like that because, and then they come up with a reason. Often they say because EHCPs need to be flexible. Is that true?
Yeah, we do have this a lot. We have it on the group and we have it in the draft checks that we do. If a provision is not specified and quantified in section F, it just can't be enforced, no matter what your caseworker has told you. Section B of an EHCP is actually the most key part, because if a need is not specified in section B, as far as the provision is concerned, it just doesn't exist, and so the provision won't be made to meet it. Without the provision in section F, there's also a consequence on the placement. The provision is set out in the EHC plan. It must be detailed and specific and should normally be quantified, for example, in terms of the type, the hours, the frequency of support, and the level of expertise. And to get that quote, you need to go to paragraph 9.69 of the Special Educational Needs Code of Practice 2015. It should be clear from reading section F of the EHC plan who, what, when, and how long. In relation to each element of the special education provision is listed, you want to look for case law, which is EC versus North East Lincolnshire Local Authority. For small class sizes, it's SB versus Hereford County Council 2018. That states that class to adult ratios must be named. And then it's the classic case law, L versus Clark and Somerset 1998, which specifies group size.
Okay, so if I'm responding to a draft check and my local authority come back to me and say, oh, all these things you've asked to be specified and quantified, we don't do that because we need to make sure EHCPs are flexible. I can use this case law to challenge them. I don't really need to understand it, do I? I mean, I should look it up and just check it out and make sure that it's accurate. But these codes that we've put in here are something you could reply back to. So say I've said, please say how often and how long this reading intervention is going to be provided each week. I can then say, as in paragraph 9.69 of the code of practice, and the local authority will know what that means. So and
it just adds additional weight to your request. And to be honest, I mean, some caseworkers don't appear to know case law or SEND law anyway, to start with. But if you have that, and anybody that's had one of our draft checks done will know that we back our draft checks up with case law for that very reason, so that we've already preempted the response from the local authority. And you know, there's many different factors of the case law that we use, but those two particularly will reinforce, together with 9.69F the Code of Practice, the fact that it must be specified and quantified, because if it's not, then that leaves it open for interpretation, and it's that leaving it open for interpretation that causes so many problems with people saying, oh, but it says on my EHCP that my child gets one-to-one, and then when you read it, it's your child has access to one-to-one, which every single child in school has.